Remember, I just want to repeat it. Please make sure you are a misogynist that thinks men are better at leading than women. Hi, do you think men are better at leading than women?
I love you.
Oh, I am pretty sure you are a fetus, but I appreciate you so much for the love. We are just looking for some debates. Moving on. You guys, please respect the rules. Respect the rules, please, please, please. I just want misogynists. Come on, y'all. Come on. Where are my misogynists at? Where are they at? Hey, Viv, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think because they are conditioned.
1 second.
Oh, I don't know what the camera was for. Sorry, I just kicked him out. I just saw the camera come on and it was a red flag. Go ahead.
I said I think because they're like conditioned in a society where like men are seen to be as like higher, that they have more opportunities and therefore like not necessarily are better but prepared, unfortunately.
I would say, if you want my honest perspective, men are more prepared for leadership, but somehow still worse. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um
But I'm just looking for people that think men are better at leading than women. If you recognize the existence of the patriarchy, you probably don't think that. We're gonna move on to our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a minute. Y'all please. We want the misogynists, okay? We want the traditionalists, okay? We want the Christians, okay? And we're just not getting them. We're just not getting them. We're casting the line out and it's not reeling back in. Hello? Do you think men are better at leading than women?
Okay, so I just wanted to say that what happened with you and Takesha, and why did you just disconnect me the first time I tried to join?
Okay, well, first of all, her name's not Takesha, her name's Tashika. And second of all, I disconnected you for the same reason I did now. It's because I am so blatantly setting out the boundaries for the live. And I will decline comment. How about that? What's up? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, but I love you, Dean, and I loved your Trump impression.
All right. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, oh man. Oh man. Oh, it's hurting. It's hurting. Goda, thank you for the $6 and the 2 cents on PayPal. Manifesting for more trolls to join. Have a good day, Dean. I think you meant that in a positive way because you're a positive person. You're always hanging out, but I do appreciate you. All right. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Hi. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think they used to be. I don't think they are today.
Chloe, you're gonna kill me.
Sorry, Dean.
Yeah, have a good one, Chloe. I appreciate you for coming up. We're gonna move on. Ugh! Hi. Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Ave? I could hear you. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Where are our misogynists at? Where are our misogynists at? We need them. Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Okay. Why's that?
So you actually convinced me to vote for Kamala, so I voted for her, but it's just like Trump is the better one. You know what I mean? Like, I love Trump. I'm just kidding. I love you, Dean, so much. Thank you.
I love you too, Nelly. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate it. I I appreciate it, Nelly. Thank you, Nelly. Thank you, Nelly. Okay. Okay. Ash, thank you for the gold medal. Blair with a $1 on Venmo. Jay, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
In some ways, yes, I do.
Okay. Do you think a man would be better at being president than a woman?
Like, I feel like we have more evidence that suggests that men are better than leader.
All right, let's hear it. What's your evidence?
So yeah, I would say majority of the countries that are, ran better are ran by men.
Okay, so just because most leaders are men doesn't mean men are better at leading. Most leaders have also disproportionately been white. Doesn't make white people better at leading. The reason why there hasn't been as many women leaders as men leaders is because it's promoted for men, stigmatized towards women today. And in the last 70 years, it was illegal for women to be in positions of leadership, open a bank account, own property, start a business, etc. They have just historically had less opportunity. So, of course, we would expect a disproportionate amount of men in those fields.
Fair. So do you think men and women, they're both equally as good as leading, or do you think women are better?
I don't think that gender gives us enough information to determine broad generalization of leadership abilities.
Sure. So you think we're both equally as good as leading, right?
I just don't think it's relevant, like to determine if you're a good or bad leader. So not even equal. It's like it's not even equal. It's like it's just not relevant. It's like, do I think that people that wear Adidas are equally as good as leading at people that wear Nikes? Like, I don't know. It doesn't give me enough information.
Sure. And I have a question, right? Because I hear you often say about Trump, like, oh, he said he's going to grab girls by the pussy or some shit like that.
Okay, well, don't say that in reference to a woman's vagina. It's just weird, but God.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just quoting somebody.
Yeah, okay, God.
Yeah. So he apologized for that, and he said it like 10 years ago. And my confusion is, if we shouldn't. Yeah, yeah. The same way that you kind of said a bunch of slurs and you also apologized for it, and it's something you said when you were young, right? So if you can't forgive Trump for what he said 10 years ago, why should people forgive you?
Yeah, great question. Give me 1 second. I didn't know that he apologized for the Access Hollywood tape. 1 second. Hollywood. Trump apologizes. Access Hollywood. Um. Okay, let's see. So it looks like he. I don't know. Let's listen to a statement together.
Never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not.
Sorry, that would be Minecraft music. Let me close out of Minecraft. Sorry, you guys. Give me a second. I have actually never heard this. This is a canon moment. Apparently, Trump issued an apology for the Access Hollywood tapes. I'm actually super interested. Let's all listen to them together, you guys.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've traveled the country talking about change for America, but my travels have also changed me. I've spent time with grieving mothers who've lost their children, laid off workers whose jobs have gone to other countries, and people from all walks of life who just want a better future. I have gotten to know the great people of our country, and I've been humbled by the faith they placed in me. I pledge to be a better man tomorrow and will never, ever let you down. Let's be honest, we're living in the real world. This is nothing more than a distraction from the important issues we're facing today. We're losing our jobs, we're less safe than we were 8 years ago, and Washington is totally broken. Hillary Clinton and her kind have run on.
Stop unmuting my mic. You got an echo.
I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims. We will discuss this more in the coming days. See you at the debate on Sunday.
Okay, first of all, I have to get off soon. I have a dinner with my grandparents. That was the text that I just got. So, wow, okay, holy first of all, for everybody saying that that's AI, that's not AI. That's on Trump's Twitter. Wow. Why have I never heard this before? It's not AI. No, it's on his Twitter. It's very real. Yeah. That's real, you guys. That's so real. The reason why it sounded AI was because he was just reading off of a teleprompter. He had to issue that apology. But you know what? First of all, actually, Jay, obviously, manufacturer outrage, hate from the right. Why should we forgive Dean but not Trump? But I'm actually thankful for you because I had no clue that this video existed. And my mind is honestly blown. I wouldn't expect this out of Trump, even though it was obviously not genuine at all, and he finished it off by attacking Bill Clinton.
Wait,
It
hold
is
on.
like still. I'll admit that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's crazy. That's crazy. But at the end, he condemns Bill Clinton for quote unquote abusing women, right? It's acting as if that is something that you cannot apologize for, that people cannot forgive you for. Well, he was held civilly liable for doing what? Abusing and raping a woman. Okay, right? And then on top of this, I think that an apology from Donald Trump is important, but it has to come alongside accountability and changing character. Okay, because if those three things are not present in tandem with one another, it doesn't matter.
Bro, why are you
And
muting me?
that's the issue because you have an echo.
Okay, my bad. Let me respond to your points though, because you made a lot of points. Am I still echoing?
Yeah, you are, but let me finish making my point. The main point of this is nothing more than the simple fact that it's not just an apology. It's accountability and a change in character. Donald Trump has not exhibited genuine accountability or change in character, or he wouldn't have been asking why people were supporting Kamala Harris, even though she's a woman. There's no
Hey,
accountability and
was
change in
that
character.
video from 2016?
Yeah, October 7th.
Yeah, so I remember watching that live. So that was after the uh, 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 P tape thing came out. You know, the grabbing by the P word thing came out, and yeah, he didn't apologize. He said, "I've done bad things in my life." Who accused Bill Clinton of stuff, and he basically like lorded them over Hillary Clinton. So I mean, that's not an apology.
You want to listen to it again?
Who are you?
I,
Who are you to decide what's a genuine apology? People could say,
Because we
because you
could
say
still
I am,
see.
because an apology has the words "I am sorry."
Yeah. Wow, that is true. That is true.
that's what
Never in that clip, not once during that clip, did he say, "I am sorry for anything that I've done." He said, "I have done bad things in my life." That's not an
Play
apology.
the video, DM. Play the video back.
Okay. I'm actually, yeah, I kind of want to. We'll play back. It's at 1.5 speed.
Person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize.
See, he said it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
okay, so he did say,
He
okay.
did. Okay. He did say, and I quote, I apologize. But continue, Matt.
Well, but okay, so he says, "I apologize," but then in an actual apology, do you then blame other people for things that they didn't say? Well, I done bad things, but let's look at Bill Clinton now. See, that's what I don't understand. Is that yes, Bill Clinton was not on the ticket. He could have said, "Well, let's look at Hillary Clinton. Has she done anything in her past that was been accused of like SA or anything?" No, right? And so you don't say, "I apologize," and then you go and blame somebody else for like similar behavior, huh?
And just something else. Would anybody in here still be supporting me of after apologizing for my use of slurs when I was younger, I still continue to use slurs? No.
Or
No.
Dean,
No.
if you
And
had said, "I apologize," but let's look at this other person who did something, and let me tell you why they're bad. Therefore, moving the burden from what you have done to like somebody else.
yeah,
Wait, but
thank you for the
Rocky,
$2.
there's ways.
And Jay, the reason I asked the chat that, and the reason why it's relevant to this conversation, is because the Access Hollywood tapes leaked from the early 2000s is not where Trump's misogyny ended. The most recent example, the most widespread and apparent negative consequences, would be him overturning Roe v. Wade, rescinding the right to get an abortion back to
The
the
W.
state, meaning that 65,000 women have not that have been raped have not had access to abortion in the last 3 years. In fact, have been denied services in 10 states. Demeaning Kamala Harris for being a woman, slurring her, the R slur, right? Saying things like the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy, or following up after the Access Hollywood tapes when he went on Howard Stern and told him that he walked into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls, or before the Access Hollywood tapes in the 90s, right, where he hit on the 10-year-old girl saying he dated her in 10 years. And another consideration, why did he only apologize for the Access Hollywood tapes? Why nothing else that he said about women before the Access Hollywood tapes? Is it maybe because the only thing that was shed light on by Hillary's campaign was the Access Hollywood tapes? And if it was a genuine apology where he wanted to hold himself accountable because he cares, why didn't he do it when he hit on the 10-year-old girl? or made the crude remarks about Rosie O'Donnell in the last 8 years. He still calls women names. Go on TrumpWords.org, you'll still see it. The apology is not enough. You also have to see accountability and change in character,
Yeah,
and that
change.
is
Yeah,
a
that's
difference
right.
between me and Trump.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the abortion thing, it's not really
But don't
against the
pivot
law.
to the abortion. Just stay more like conceptual. Because you asked me why I should be forgiven but not Trump. It's because I satisfied the criteria to be forgiven. He doesn't.
Yeah, because you believe his apology wasn't genuine, but someone could make the same argument
No,
about
no, no,
God.
no, no, no. He only gave the apology. You could argue that it's genuine. Of course, I don't think it's
Well, what
genuine.
about
But
this?
even if it was to be genuine, there's no accountability and change in character.
Let's
But go
say
ahead.
that today we asked Trump, what did you, or do you still feel the same way about the Access Hollywood tape today as you did in 2016? I would wager that his opinion now has changed, and he would probably say, well, it was locker room talk type of thing. It was boys being boys. It wasn't that big of a deal. He probably would try to write it off because now we have become so normalized to his language use that people really don't really care about the apology anymore, and people are so desensitized to it. So my guess is that if we even brought it up, he probably would say, not that like, oh yes, that was bad. I'm so sorry I ever said that. He would probably try to like move on and say, well, that was just men being men and boys being boys and that kind of stupid. So because that's what he does with his past. He just kind of like says, well, it was a different time. It was, this and that and all that. And so I don't think he would actually be genuinely sorry, because you would see the same kind of saying when people would bring it up. That's what I would say about it.
Yeah, but I don't think he insults women like in the way that he did anymore. Like, oh, I'm gonna go grab them by the.
No. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't do it in public because we have reporting that behind the scenes he was calling a women and specifically VP Harris the R slur. So yes, I would say he probably still does it just behind the
Wait,
scenes.
Rockin. We could say Dean doesn't say slurs in public, but who knows what he does behind closed doors? We have reporting.
I've made like my position very clear, and I just think it's like super duper simple. There's 3 criteria that I think need to be met for to be forgiven for these things: apology, accountability, and change in character. Donald Trump only satisfies one of those 3 conditions.
And if Dean said something in private to me or to Parker or something, I guarantee you we would hold him to account on it. Like
Yeah.
I guarantee you that fact. Like we would chastise them for it because it would show not a change in behavior, and we have never heard anything like that. But again, Trump is a public figure. Trump has publicly apologized, apparently for this stuff, and yet he still does it, right? And I don't care who's doing it. If you apologize for it and you say I'm going to change my behavior, and then you don't do that, then you should be called out. I don't make an exception for Dean or anybody else.
Yeah,
If we're being honest,
but
like
let's just I just want to simplify it. I just want to make it so simple. And Jay, you haven't addressed this. 3 criteria to be forgiven for bad things that you do. Most of the time, some of the time. Depends on who you're asking. Apology, accountability, and change in character. Those are the 3 criteria that have to be met for like me to forgive someone, and I bet a lot of people in the chat would agree with me. Okay? Donald Trump only satisfies one of those conditions.
Yes.
Donald Trump only satisfies the condition of the apology. He does not satisfy the conditions of accountability and change in character.
Oh no, he's still there.
I'm still here.
oh, there you go.
So what's your answer?
Okay, so yo, this guy's staying so still. Like, blink, breathe. All right, so yeah, this is my answer, right? There's 2 things. I think that like when it comes to even Dean saying slur, I think slur should be destigmatized, right? I don't even care that he said slurs, right? But
Exactly. See the fake manufactured bullshit outrage. Yeah, of course. Why is it always the mother It'll sit here and say shit like that come up onto my dude. It's
Wait,
oh
hold
my
on. I
god.
mean, let's play this out. Do you really think slurs should be destigmatized? If I was to walk up to somebody, and I would never do this, but if I was to walk up to somebody and say the hard R to a black person, you're saying that should be destigmatized, or that if I would go up to somebody who has
Oh my
R slur, or not the hard R, but the R slur, that would be okay? Like, have you this tells me that you're not operating like in the real world, because you
You guys
would never
differ.
do that.
You
Can
guys
someone look
differ.
at this account and tell me if he's a white guy? Are you a white guy?
Biracial. My dad's black. My mom's white.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Wait, what?
Anyways, I want you to respond to Matt.
Bro, you're
And
allowed to get
I
like
think that we could
monologues.
I think that we could have this conversation about slurs. But I also just want you to respond to the 3 criteria for a genuine like
Bro, I've been
apology
trying, bro,
idea.
but you've been monologuing, bro. You're monologuing, and then I'm only
No, no,
asking
no,
like
no,
one
no,
word
no, 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 no,
response.
no. I gave you the 3 criteria, and then you're like, actually, slurs aren't bad. All right, which we also obviously need to
I
talk
don't think
about.
I'll
But I just want you to respond to the 3 criteria as well.
Okay, are you gonna let me give my full response, or can I only give like a one answer question? Or
No,
one?
me and Matt literally both stopped talking, and we were so silent that you thought we froze, and you didn't give us a response.
No, I thought you froze because like you weren't moving at all. But look, let me give my response. Okay, look. As I was saying before, when it comes to slurs, I think it should be destigmatized. I don't care that you said slurs, right? But I just think you're a little bit inconsistent and you're a little bit unfair because you don't forgive Trump for what he apologized
Bro,
for
you're
saying
so
10 years
irrational.
ago, but you expect everyone to forgive you. I just think that
Dude, I'm making it
you're a
so
hypocrite.
simple.
You're a
I'm
hypocrite.
making it's not hypocritical. I'm telling you exactly why it's not hypocritical. 3 criteria to be forgiven: apology, accountability, and change in character. I satisfy all 3 conditions. Donald Trump does not satisfy all 3 conditions. He only satisfies one. That's the symmetry breaker. That's why
Yeah.
it's not
Had
hypocritical.
Dean not satisfied one of those conditions, then we would not have accepted his apology.
Wait, but
Yes.
It's not that hard.
Rockin, you gave me some like shitty ass like example of like what was your example again? I forget what it was, but it was like pretty bad.
Of what?
About why slurs shouldn't be
No,
discriminated.
I want to
Why are
talk
you
about
moving
that.
on to
I
that?
want to talk about that, but I want to talk
Okay, we're
about
gonna
it
let him run away.
after.
All right, fine, fine.
I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about that after you address your complete idiocy when it comes to this conversation about me being a hypocrite. Yo, A, thank you for the $10 donation on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much, A. Everybody, please show love to A.
I
Thank
gave you my
you.
answer. You're just not satisfied with it.
No, you didn't give me an answer. You just called me a hypocrite. You didn't respond to the symmetry breaker that I provided to you to demonstrate that it's not hypocritical.
Wait,
You
no, wait.
ignored it, rejected it, and then called me a hypocrite.
Wait, Dean. It's very, very simple. You said something you regret. I don't know how long, like 6 years ago. You said a slur that you regret 6 years ago. You apologized. No one's holding you account to that.
No. He apologized, and then he also met
Rockin,
the 2 other criteria.
Rockin, wait, one second.
Apology, accountability, and change in character. All right, and then also, just to let you know, like, probably a big reason why you didn't see like a larger public outrage was because the accountability and the change in character came a very long time ago. Very long time ago. Okay? Right? It was just public conversations about these things and the public apology and the demonstration to an explicit extent of the change in character and accountability. Okay? Right? But once again, 3 criteria need to be met to be forgiven: apology, change in character, and accountability. Trump satisfies 1, I satisfy 3.
Wait, he
Voila.
satisfied. Wait, but I told you that what's it called? Trump doesn't go around and say he's gonna like grab him by the peepees anymore. And then
But he does go around, make fun of Rosie O'Donnell, right? Call Hillary a very ugly woman with an ugly woman face. Say the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy. You know what? How about we just keep going? Just give me a second. Let's
yeah, he
see what we
insults
got.
everybody, but that has nothing to do with him saying. I think
That is misogyny. That is misogyny. He calls all women nasty. And then, by the way, so the Access Hollywood tapes were in 2005, 2007. He talks about how he just can't hold himself back from kissing women. 2015, he says about Hillary, look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president. I mean, she's a woman. Come on, folks. Are we serious? 2016, yeah, women who seek abortion should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. 2017, it must be a pretty picture, you dropping to your knees. Like, dude, the misogyny never ended. There's never any change in character or accountability.
okay. Yeah, if he's saying all those things like today, like in 2015, 2017, then yeah, I guess you're right. he said an apology and he didn't mean it. 2017, and yeah, I guess you're right. I know he said all those things, but I stay on what I said before, that slurs should be destigmatized.
Okay,
Oh my
fine. We
God.
can talk about that now. Yeah, that's stupid. Okay.
Okay, so my
Slurs.
example.
Okay,
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Dean. I didn't interrupt you. No, my example was very relevant because what I'm saying is you would never in your life, or at least I hope you wouldn't, because if you do, then like, you deserve, like all that's coming to you. You would never go up to a mentally disabled person and you would call them the R slur just. They say, "Oh, hey, Arsler, how you doing?" You would never do that because you know in your heart that it is wrong to do that. That word has heavy, heavy negative connotations, and it's a slur. You would never go up to anybody who's Hispanic and call them a slur just right off the bat, right? To destigmatize means that you can openly say it without fear of any type of consequence, and that there is no way that you even believe that because you would never do that in your real life. Because
Let me
if you
respond to that.
did,
That's so silly.
that you would get a fist to the face.
Wait, hold up. I gotta respond to that. Look, just because I personally wouldn't do something, it doesn't mean that I think this thing is wrong or this thing is wrong,
Well, do you
right?
think that you should be
No, no,
able to
no,
do
no,
it?
no,
Wait,
no.
Dean,
It's
please,
not
let me
wrong.
finish.
No, it's not wrong. Therefore, guest, you should do it. It's not wrong
Well,
because you're saying that like you don't care about it.
That's illogical.
um, that like I could say it's not wrong to eat a piece of avocado toast, but then never eat a piece of avocado
No, no, no,
toast.
Dean. No, but the difference is though is that he's saying that it's not wrong, and therefore he can eat avocado
Yeah.
toast. It's just that he chooses not to because he knows that it's not wrong. But he is saying it should be destigmatized, meaning that people should be allowed to do it. But what I'm saying is in his heart he would never do that because he
No, I
knows
think
that it's wrong.
Yeah,
I
like
think okay.
what I'm asking you, Jay, is do you think that people should be able to do what Matt described?
Wait, one sec. I think
No, answer
what's
the
it called?
question. Do you think it's like permissible for people to do what Matt described?
You're doing this thing where you monologue and you like want me to give one
It's not a
answer
monologue.
response.
Is it permissible for people to do what Matt described?
Wait, I want to respond to what Rockton said.
Fine.
Listen, I could think that being gay should be destigmatized, but me personally, I would never have sex with a gay guy. Just because I
No,
personally.
no, that's not the same. Would you ever call a gay man in to their face in public, or think that other people should call gay men to their face the F slur? Should they be able to openly and proudly say it to a gay man and just openly say, "Hey, F slur, how are you doing today?"
Okay, so just because. Wait, what's the question? Should they be allowed to? I mean,
No,
that's what I'm
well,
arguing.
well, no, not just allowed to. Should there be a destigmatization of that so that I'm walking down the street and if I see a person who is a GAY and I just say, "Oh, hey, F slur, how you doing?" and no one else should bat an eye. You're saying that should be allowed and destigmatized to where we don't even look at the person who said that in any negative connotation. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying slurs should be destigmatized. That's my argument.
That's a dumb argument because you yourself would never do that because you
No, I
know in
don't.
your heart that is a bad thing to
Look,
do.
look, look. I think being gay should be
Come on up.
destigmatized. People shouldn't.
Do
It's
you
not
think
wrong
that
to
I
be
do you
gay.
think that I could hop in here?
Yeah, hop in.
Phenomenal. Juliet, thank you for the $50 on PayPal for the big bottle of Advil you'll need after this, guess. Thank you so much for the love, Juliet. Let's get at least 500 W Juliets down below in the comment section. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you so much. Everybody, please, 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 please show some love to Juliet. What reasons do you have to not slur gay people?
What? What are you talking about?
I thought I was pretty straightforward on my question. Why don't you slur gay people?
Why don't I slur gay people?
Yeah, you heard me.
Because that's just something I don't do.
Yeah, but like why? Like, what are your reasons why you don't do it?
Just personal choice. I just don't want to.
No,
But
why
I'm
though?
asking you
Why?
why you make that personal choice.
Just because I just don't feel like it.
Okay, why don't you feel like it?
Like you're asking me why I don't say certain.
Is it because it's wrong? Is that why?
No, wait. You're asking me why I don't use certain words. I don't use certain words because I don't feel like using. I have no problem using
But
them.
I can articulate to you exactly why I don't use slurs. I'll go to name them all right now. One reason why I don't use slurs is because they have a direct, harmful, negative impact on the person that I'd be using the slur against if it was used against a black person, such as the N-word. And I don't use slurs against white people because it propagates that it is socially permissible to use that term. And when more people use those terms, more systemic racism, right, is accepted, and it completely negates and disrespects how other people use the term against black people, and it negates and disrespects the historical usage of the word that was literally used to propagate dehumanization of an entire race of people that led to them being enslaved, led to them being raped, led to them being viewed and treated as property, led to them being viewed and segregated from spaces, having to use different bathrooms, drink from different water fountains, and sit at the back of the bus, right? Something that today leads to them having less societal opportunity, having a lower socioeconomic standing on average, facing challenges that I, as a white man, can never imagine, right? And the N word was a part of an intricate system that directly and causally resulted in such consequence. That's why I don't use these words. So why don't you?
Okay, so look, there's two things. If you don't use a word because of the history of it, well, regardless of who says the word, the history is going to remain the same. So I don't know your stance, but so if you think black people should be able to say the N word, then you'd be contradicting yourself. So I don't know if you think that, but if you do, then you would. And number two, right? I don't use the word because I don't want to, right? That's not a word
Wait,
that
hold
I use.
on. Jay, is your dad or mom black?
Dad.
Dad. So if a random person just came up to your dad and just was and every time that they were talking to your dad, they did not use his name, they did not use anything, instead they just used the N-word. Every single time. And you're saying that you would sit there and be like, you know what? That's totally fine. I got no issue with this white guy sitting there, and every time that he talks to my dad, he uses the hard R. I got no problem with that.
So yeah, let me answer that question, right? I don't think somebody being white magically makes them racist for saying the N word, right? If someone's
I
gonna
bring
say
up the
that,
white people only because historically that has
Yes!
been white people saying it.
You are completely and totally like off base. You're saying, "Oh, I don't think being white magically makes you racist
you're saying
if
the
you
N word,
say the
yeah.
N-word." It's
Yeah,
saying the N-word as a white person that makes you
Yeah, which is
racist.
why
yeah,
I
no,
brought
I
up the
don't think
white
so.
people because they're the ones who.
I think it depends on context and how you use
What?
the
Hold
word.
on. What context is there that I didn't give? I said a random person comes up to your dad, and every single time he's talking to your dad, he doesn't use his name. He doesn't say guy. He doesn't say anything. It said he uses the noun, the hard R slur, every single time that he's talking to your dad. This is a random person who you have no idea who it is, and it's in public too. And you're saying that you and everybody else should sit there or stand there and do nothing about it. And in fact, it should be destigmatized so that you
Wait, I'm
and
not
nobody
saying
else
that.
should have
No.
any negative emotions about it.
And then after you answer Matt, I'd like to hop in here just for a second, but go please answer Matt. And Presley, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not saying that anyone, right, regardless of your skin color, if you're gonna go up to somebody and say you N word or you F word or you B word, although B word is not a slur, right? Of course, it would be wrong. I think
That's destigmatizing. So you're agreeing with us.
no, but I think it depends on the content. I think still they should, like, if a white person were able to say it in a song, I think they should be able to say it in a song.
That's
I think
not
that's,
destigmatizing, though. You said it should be destigmatized, meaning that
for me to
people
say that white
out and
people can say
about
it
could
in a
say
song.
it.
For me
Now
to
you're
say
going back on what you said.
no, for me to say white people should be allowed to say it in a song, that's me trying to destigmatize it. What are you talking about?
No, that's
That's exactly what it means.
Dean. Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
Thank you. Right. So, Jay, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that white people should be able to use the N word socially, like black people, outside of directly referring to a black person with the intention of hating them because they're black, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And with any slur.
I hear you. I hear you. There's a lot of issues with this. Do you mind if I explain them to you?
Yeah.
The only reason why black people can say the N word without being racist is because they are the ones that not just historically have been victimized, dehumanized, turned into slaves, and killed, raped, and slaughtered because of the use of the N word alongside many other things, but still experience the negative impacts that include but are not limited to those I just listed today.
Wait,
Like
so
like in theory, in theory, if white people felt the same systemic racism throughout all of history and it was identical to what I just said, and the N-word was used against white people, white people would be able to say the N-word. Okay? But like, obviously, as soon as you gain consciousness at like 7 years old and you begin to learn history in class, in school, you're like, oh my God, right? No, white people were the ones using it, right? And it was black people that were being victimized by it. And it's like super duper simple. And I'm just trying to explain this in very like simple like, concepts. Maybe like another thought that I have here. You're saying that, well, that's how white people have used it historically to perpetuate racism. But if they're not perpetuating racism today with it, then it's fine. The issues there are is that the use of the word still promotes the social permissibility of other white people using the word, and it creates a chamber where when white people use that word to stigmatize and dehumanize black people, it creates a more worse and more negative effect because the other white people around them are led to believe that it's fine to do so to a higher degree, right? And then I just generally think that when a tool is used for so long to hurt people, that tool should be laid to rest. A good example of this would be if there was like an AR used in a school shooting to kill 20 people, we should probably melt the AR and never touch it again, right? No one would ever want to use that AR again. No one should use that AR again. But now imagine that that AR was a word, and instead of killing 20 people, it killed hundreds of thousands for over 200 years. Now
Yeah.
that word should be burned just like the AR used for a school shooting.
Wait, Dean, the argument that you're making is good, but the only problem with that is that if you think that white people shouldn't be able to say the N-word because of the history of the word, as I said before, regardless of who says the N-word, the history of the word will remain the same. And not all black people are descendants from slavery. So for you to say that black people should be able to say the N-word because this
Well, now
word...
let me ask you one more question.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about the AR school shooting example. I think it's good. It really communicates this message well.
Yeah.
What if there was a victim that was harmed by that AR? They were in the school, they got shot, they survived. Would we say that victim would be doing absolutely anything wrong if they pick up that AR and it is still being used by school shooters to this day and they take it out of their hands and they try to do something good with it for a change? If they turn it into a community builder compared to a community destroyer, if they try to use it for as a weapon of love, as a symbol of love, brethren and camaraderie, compared to a weapon of mass destruction and systemic oppression.
Yeah,
Like,
so
no.
the AR example actually proves me right. If somebody, what's it called? With the AR thing, right? Anyone should be able to pick up this AR and use it for good and protect people and save people. I wouldn't say only the victim should be able to have access to that.
Hey Jay, you're completely wrong. Matt, what's going on, buddy? Listen, I'm in between sets and I've been listening, and this is just so dumb. I had to come up.
You got it, man. You got the mic.
Jay, first and foremost, the N word was adopted by black people as a way to take the power from the word, but the word is still a tool of our oppressor, which we shall not use. I.e., black people shouldn't be saying the N word either. It's something that I have done before, but I no longer do. Wait 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
Hold on 1 second, Jay. I've done it before, but it's something I don't do anymore because I understand the actual impact. To Dean's point, it's not something that should be used at all because it's so harmful and it's so hurtful. And for you to sit here and say, well, we should destigmatize slurs, that's absolutely insane. That's just like people saying, oh, we shouldn't talk about racism because it'll never go away if we stop talking about it. No, you need to understand the meaning of the word and what impact the word has, and also understand that with using that word, it causes harm. And for you to sit here and say what content or context, or is someone coming up and saying the N word to my father, that's absolutely insane. I don't know your dad, but if your dad's a black man, to Matt's point, he's going to hit him right in the mouth. For someone to keep calling you the N word, your dad's going to hit him right in the mouth.
Racist. That's pretty racist. But wait, hold up 1
How?
second.
What's racist?
Let me. You're saying if someone were to say the N word to a black person, you're telling me that they're aggressive and they're gonna fuck them up.
What I'm telling you With the example
But
that
wait, hold up,
Matt just
Santana. I gotta
gave.
respond to you. All your
No, no,
points
no,
were
no.
really
Wait,
correct.
you just threw a question at me. With the example
I
that
didn't ask you,
Matt
but
with the example that Matt gave, if someone came up to your dad and kept calling him by the N word, not by his name, but just repeatedly N word, N word, N word, yes, he's going to respond with aggression because it's not only dehumanizing, it's degrading, it's disrespectful, and it's saying that you are lesser than, so I can do whatever I want to you. That's the point.
okay, can I respond to the point?
Go ahead.
In full? All right. So look, right? I disagree that my dad or black people as a whole are like aggressive wild animals, and if someone says a word they don't like, they're gonna go ballistic and start attacking them. I disagree with that. And number two, you said that when it comes to the N word, no one should be able to say it, right? So I would agree with that, right? But the problem that we're having is that most people think that black people should be able to say the N word and white people shouldn't. And the word, the F slur, gay people should be allowed to say it, but non-gay people shouldn't, right? If we're gonna say let's ban slurs entirely, then I respect that because that's a viewpoint that's logically consistent, and I could agree to that.
But also, I just want to say the one thing that you're missing is that the reason why GAY people, because I'm a member of that community, I'm not GAY, but I am bi, and I have people, and I've had men say the F slur to me, for example, and the reason why they think it's okay to say it is precisely because of the fact that they are trying to reclaim it so that the word loses its potency, because when the group is using it, it doesn't have the same connotation. When a straight person uses it towards me or towards another a GAY individual, what they are doing it is they are always intending to use it for harm. There is not a context where someone can say the F slur to somebody and use it in a positive term. It is not possible.
And
Right.
to
Whereas a GAY person can say it, and they say it in terms of like comedy and things like that because they are trying to reclaim the word to take away its negative connotation because it doesn't have the same sting. And so that's what you're missing, is that no person outside of the group can say the word without it automatically having a negative connotation.
to Matt's point, that's exactly what happened with the N word. That's what black people did, and we've
How do you
moved
reclaim
past
a
that.
word?
And we've moved past that. A lot of black people may still use it, but a lot of black people are trying to teach other black people, like, hey, we don't want to use this anymore. That's not who we are. It's being phased out of
Yeah,
certain
and by the
people's
way, I mean,
vocabularies.
Saying
I
a
would
word.
even
How do you
argue
reclaim
that
a word?
GAY people shouldn't say the F slur, right? I would say that they shouldn't say it because the word has been used for so long to dehumanize, to create hate, to in some cases lead to the death of these individuals. And I think the word should be just entirely like written off, right? But as a member who's not within that community, I'm not GAY, I do not get a say to be able to decide how they will take the word back. All I can tell you is that they are taking the word back because they want to try to lessen its negative power. Because, as I said, whenever a straight person says it, there is no connotation that the word can have that is not negative. It is impossible because, by definition, the
And I
word is a
disagree.
slur.
Wait, hold up. How do you like change the meaning of a word, right? Like you're saying when it comes to like gay people, black people, since gay people, since they're born gay, they're magically able to change this word, but straight people can't. And you're saying with black people, since their skin's black, they can magically change the meaning of the F.
It's
Context is key here.
Hold up.
As
Well,
I
well,
that's
said,
what I'm
context is
saying. That's what
key.
I'm saying. Context is key.
No,
That,
yes, because a straight person can never say the word because in the context, a straight person, when they say the F slur, for example, it will always have a negative connotation. Always.
okay, you give me an
hey,
example
hey,
of
Jay,
a gay person could say the F slur
Jay,
and then not be bad.
Jay, just to keep it really simple, think of it like this. You don't go here, right? So if you're not a part of that community, you saying it is going to be hurtful, no matter how
Santana, why
you
are you
think.
changing your whole view?
No, I was changing the view. I'm telling you, I am literally repeating what
Because you
Matt
said
is saying
nobody
from
should
a
be able to
different.
say the N word, and now you're
Listen,
saying people
listen
should.
to what I'm saying, Jay.
That's fair.
Matt is trying to explain to you why is it that people that are GAY might actually try to say that or reclaim power, just like I'm trying to explain to you how certain black people said the N word to reclaim that power. But the point is, if you don't go here, then you don't go here. If you're not a part of that community, then you don't say it. It's always going to be harmful. Now, there are people that feel like they can say it because they're a part of that community. Those people still need to be educated and understand what's the difference between then and now and how do you do better.
Hey,
That's the point.
I just wanted to add on. I have someone in my Discord saying that like I said that black people can't say the N word. some point earlier. I just want to
No, that was
clarify.
me.
Yeah,
That was Santana.
I never said that, but I just thought I should like further clarify because I guess someone thinks that I said that. No, I never said that. They're like now they're accusing me of like lying and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
no,
I'm
No,
no.
D,
Let
just
me
I don't remember you
let
ever
me
saying that. I
yeah, let
really
me
don't.
let me clarify this. This
yeah.
is my personal stance, and I've had this conversation with multiple black people. I have said it before. I don't say it anymore, and I tell other people you shouldn't say this because blah blah blah.
They're
People, I have said it before. I don't say it anymore, and I tell other people you shouldn't say this because point. It could be a word of endearment, it could be a word of comedy, it could be whatever, but it's still a tool of the
Why
oppressor,
do you
and
keep
it's not
switching
something
his
that should be
name?
Yes,
used
I
Bro, why
fully
do you
agree with
keep
that.
switching
As
his
like,
name?
still a tool of the
Why
oppressor,
do you
and
keep
it's not
switching his
something that should be
name?
yes,
used.
Bro,
I
why
fully
do
agree in the a context of America that to say the word is it's a negative word just by its very definition, and so I don't think that word also should be like reclaimed in any way. We should throw that they are not using it too because it makes them feel better about taking that negative perception from the word away because you're taking it away from your oppressor and it makes you feel like you're in control, and I understand that, like I understand it, right? It's just that I don't like the word because the word has such a blood-soaked history that it shouldn't be allowed to be used, and I would use that, by the way, for gay people, for black people, for people who are
Rocky, you're gonna
Jewish.
get canceled, bro.
Do what?
They're gonna cancel you like they just tried canceling you.
No
No.
one's going to cancel me. I haven't said
Oh my
anything that's
God.
cancelable.
No, because
Li-
you just said right now that like nobody should be able to say the N word, including black people. They tried
Listen,
canceling
no,
you.
That's
listen,
not what I
Jay.
said.
Jay,
Or you said that about gay people.
Jay, Jay. Black
I'm
people
listening.
saying the N word. I don't agree with it. I don't think they should say it, but I understand.
Yeah, by the way, I
Santana,
don't
I
get
can
a
understand a
say.
lot of things.
No, I do not get a say into how black men and women get to say the word. Why? Because I am not black. I have not experienced what they've experienced. It's not, all I know is that me as a white person, I can never in any context say that word. There is not a context where I can say it, right? That's like even within literature or something. Like even when I read it in like Mark Twain, it like puts something in me in my
Wait,
head
just
that like
because
it's
you're not
bad,
black,
right?
But
that's
wait,
identity
no,
politics.
no,
Wait,
no,
one
no,
sec.
no,
Wait,
no,
wait, wait,
Jay,
wait, real quick.
Jay,
Santana, real
wait,
quick,
hold
real
on.
quick.
But
Can you let me
listen,
happen?
no,
I gotta say,
listen, to double down on Matt's point,
wait, Rocky, just because you're not black.
I am not a member of the GAY community. I should not be able to say the F slur. It's wrong for me to say the F slur because I am not a part of that community.
Okay, one sec. I gotta respond to all these silly points. Wait, Rockin, just because you're not black, it doesn't mean your opinion on the N word is less valuable. That's identity politics, and
I think it
No.
does.
that's just
Hello, I just
It
said I
makes
can
his
have an
opinion
opinion.
less
I said I
valuable.
don't get a
look,
say
Dean,
to
you're a man, but it doesn't mean that your opinion on abortion is less valuable. You could be pro-choice. You could have very
bruh.
strong
Listen
arguments.
to what I'm saying. Opinion on it. But what I'm saying is my opinion should not impact how black men and women get to use the word because I have not lived their experience. I do not know what
No.
it's like to reclaim the word. Santana has that right. He is a black man who has lived and breathed it every single day, and therefore his opinion holds more
Rockin,
weight.
Rockin, Rockin. Please,
That's
Rockin,
the
listen.
point.
Rockin, listen. The point is this. Look. Who cares about our personal identities? Who cares what you've experienced? Who cares of what I experienced, right? We
This
push
makes
our
no sense to
hold
me.
up, hold
We
up,
are
hold up. We
all who
push
we are by
one
our
sec, one sec,
identity.
one sec, one sec. We push our personal identities aside and we present each other with facts. Just because you're not gonna experience someone saying the N-word to you in like a derogatory way, it doesn't mean your opinion on it is less valuable though. If you have a strong argument, then you have a strong argument.
Oh,
No,
hold
what
on,
I'm
hold on.
saying is I have an opinion, but on certain facts, opinions of different people matter. Not all opinions are created equal. Santana's
Can
opinion
I
on this subject matter is greater than
can I
mine.
ask a question?
Dean, it's your live. Yeah, talk.
So I want to see how far you're willing to take this logic. Let's put this in the context of the criminal justice system and criminal charges. So my question to you would you hold the same energy if we were to consider the fact that if I walk up to someone and punch them in their face, they get to decide if they want to press charges or not. I don't get to decide if they want to press charges or not. So if you're saying that both the perpetuator and the victim of like such an atrocity, such as the historical use of the N word, the use of the N word today, can both decide if that word should be used continuing forward.
Wait, Dean, what are you
Would you say
talking
that the
about?
perpetuator and the victim of a crime such as assault should be able to determine if they want to press charges or not?
Wait, if somebody gets assaulted, I think that like I don't get the comparison, but if someone gets us, I'll just answer the question.
Bro,
If someone gets
that was a
assaulted,
great. Okay, I'm just gonna kick you. Like
you can't.
if you don't understand that, I'm just gonna kick you. It's like
That
there's a
was insane. Like I don't know how many times we can say that everything that we did. Okay, I'm gonna go.
I
Thanks for having
listen.
me on, Dean. I appreciate you.
Wait.
Oh, what?
I just want to say I genuinely had no interest in coming up because both of you guys had it. But I heard like you just slamming your head against the wall, and I was like, well, maybe I can. No, no, that was.
Santana. I want you to come up as much as you want, especially as it relates to these race-related issues.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Every single time you're up here, I learn more, and that's important. That's really important for me because there's a lot of opportunities. Sam, thank you. Oh, that was for
Yeah,
W.
no,
W for
thanks
the
for the
galaxy,
galaxy.
Santana.
Yeah,
There's a
W.
lot of times on my lives where like race-related conversations will be brought up, and like there's no member of like like a POC, right, that is educated on these issues, that is in my personal circle, that is available and willing to come up on my live and have that conversation. So and
Oh, thank you for the
a
galaxy.
lot of the times, like I am forced to have these conversations because if I don't, well then like racism gets disseminated.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, I
that's a
agree.
reality. Sam, thank you for the galaxy. So like seriously, every chance I have to learn more, which definitely revolves a lot around having individuals such as yourself, Santana, that are people of color that have these personal experiences and will know more than I ever will.
Yeah,
Is
because like
always an
people like Dean and
opportunity
I
to
can
learn.
only we can only listen and read so much.
Yeah.
But like we can't possibly give the real world experience that like you would have to be able to effectively argue these points. Because arguing about theory is all fun and good, but like when he was talking about destigmatizing, that impacts people in their real lives.
Yep.
That's why we have to talk about it in like real world terms without theory and stuff, because of the fact that it impacts so many people, and people like people like you are great examples of to use the arguments about why it's such a negative impact. Because I can talk about my own lived experience, but it's nowhere going to like compare to like yours on those particular words, which is why it's so valuable, because we can only reach like a limit at some point.
yeah. No, listen, I appreciate you guys, Dean. You know how I feel about you, Matt. You know, I think you're awesome. So like I just appreciate one, you engaging in these conversations instead of blowing past them, but also two, making sure that there's a space for someone to be available when it happens. Because I think, listen, he said something I agree with. Just because you are not a part of a certain group doesn't mean that you can't speak on a topic. But when there's someone that's presenting information to you from that specific group, you should actually be more receptive of that versus sticking to your opinion, right?
Yep.
That's just my
That's
whole point.
that's a good way to point it. Yep. Which was what I was trying to say. It's like, yes, I can have an opinion on it, and I do have an opinion on it, right? But your opinion on this is because you both have a real world experience of it. Your opinion matters a little bit more because you can talk about the real world impacts of it. The same thing with like things like abortion. It's like, yeah, I have an opinion about abortion and I argue it all the time, but women have a stronger opinion on it, and I want to hear what women have to say because they're the ones who are impacted by it.
And like
That's why I want to listen to what they have to say.
one last thought here too. Like I don't know, this is just like cool to explore. Like a lot of people on the right will claim that this is identity politics.
Hmm.
Like white man be quiet, black man speak loud because
Hmm.
white man is white and black man is black on race related issues. But like overall, when we want to like share, disseminate, and hold ideas and beliefs to be true, right? We're always really concerned with critical thought, making sure that we have a lot of reason to believe in what we do, having a
Hmm.
lot of knowledge on like the related field, insofar as making sure that our claims are really justified and well supported. And the reason, like why in these conversations your voice matters significantly more than mine, is because you have access to more knowledge than I could ever have access to because of your race. And a lot of people will confuse that for just the race alone. No, it's the access to knowledge that you have that I don't because of your race. And that's, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. These things are fun
No,
to talk about. Yeah.
listen, and I agree. And there's one other thing that I wanna just hit on because I don't want to blow past it, but I'll just say I completely agree with you. I mean, and to your point, to Matt's point, whenever there's a conversation about a certain group, whether it be someone trans group, when we're talking about abortion or whatever, like it's important to have that voice in the room because it gives more perspective than someone who's not a part of the group. But one last quick thing I want to hit on is he said, "Oh, you're calling black people animals because they'll get violent with just saying the N word." That's not what I was saying at all. My whole point was doubling down on what Matt said. There's a certain limit and a certain point where someone continues to dehumanize you, continues to slur you, continues to belittle you, where there's going to be a response. And so I'm not saying that hearing this word is going to automatically trigger you. I've been called the N word more in my life than I can count, right? But there's a certain point where you're not going to push someone past the limit. And that was Matt's point. That's my whole point, where if the person continues to say it over and over and over and over to your face, then it can push you to a point of anger. And that's
Yeah,
the
that's
point
right.
I was trying to make.
Yep, that's right. All right.
Well,
Well,
Anyway,
Dean, thank you for having me up.
yeah,
Santana, always great
thank you,
talking to
Matt.
you. And
yep.
I hope you all have a good night, okay?
Yep,
You
you
have a
guys
good
have
one,
a
you
good one.
guys.
Dean,
All
enjoy your
right.
dinner.
Thank you. I'm going to go to that soon. I appreciate that. Have a good one. Yeah, guys. So here in let's see. So my dinner's at 5:30. I should probably get off here in about 20 minutes, I'd say. So I have about another 20 minutes on live. I've about another 20 minutes on live before I got to get off. I'm going to go to dinner with my grandparents. Um I need to tell y'all something really cool. I need to tell y'all something really, really, really cool. And yeah, we're just going to do a Q&A. Guess where I got invited? Guess where I got invited, mother? The White House. I posted about it on my Instagram story. I ended up taking it down. It got 20,000 views, so a lot of people know. But ladies and gentlemen, I got invited to the White House. In fact, it was worded as an invitation from the president. That's crazy, right? Yeah. I'm being serious. It took me about 2 hours to come to terms with yesterday to even like believe. It was that unbelievable. It was just an email. It was just a fucking email. Like the most shocking email of my life. So like first I remember being like super skeptical. Then I was like, okay, I want to check the email that it comes from. It's an official whitehouse.gov email. Okay. So then I go to my brother in the other room. He's an IT specialist, super and super legit. I'm like, can people like fake an email? He's like, oh yeah, people could do that. So I'm like, holy shit. Well, how do I know it's real? Well, there's an RSVP form on it. I check the URL, whitehouse.gov. Well, I'm like, oh, you can't fake that. Well, now I just need to make sure that it's really real and I'm actually getting invited, and it's not just telling me to RSVP on a real White House website that is ultimately not going to get me in the door. It's linked with like a number to a White House office. Call the number. It's official. Look the number up. It is listed on whitehouse.gov. So of course I said yes. Of course I said yes. That's probably the first and the last time that I'm going to talk about it on live here until I know more. But this is so exciting. Moral of the story: start checking your email, because if you don't, you may invite an invitation. You may forego an invitation from the White House. Holy shit! You know, I just don't even know how to react. I don't even like. I'm like still just kind of processing it. And I get a +1 too, which is super exciting.